And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
All right, hello and welcome to the Weighing In Podcast. We got all kinds of controversies, things to talk about. But first, we got to say, look at Josh's new hat. Mine's all dirty. Yours is all clean.
Look at that.
Very pretty.
Little dad dojo.
Dad dojo.
Yeah.
Look at. I'm getting a little irritated trying to sponsor something on my podcast with you. What the fuck is that?
I thought it was our podcast. Oh,
I said my podcast with you. That's our.
Oh, I love it. I also got Sonori on here too, right here. I got a little Sonori
going. You got Pat deserves
Pat's
everything.
A great dude, man.
That's
great
it.
guy. Man, talk about big drama show.
Big
time tonight. We had a lot to talk about, man. I'm excited to talk about this card. John, look, when we were doing the breakdown in the midweek show, I thought to myself, the card's kind of top heavy. I like that. It's got some good fights in the top card. This whole fucking card was great from beginning to end. The whole card.
Well, when you have fights where you have good finishes and everything and not a lot of drawn out where guys aren't really going for it, they're trying to be protective and stuff, it makes a difference in the show. And this was a great show.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought there was a lot of good things that they did. I was very impressed with the whole show. From the first fight all the way through to the end, it was a great show.
I agree.
They fought their asses off. They laid it on the line. I mean, they got so tired in the first round that they struggled through the second round.
A couple.
Fighters, not one. Right? I mean, the Alonzo Menifield fight was fucking insane. That first round was just awesome.
Yep.
And gosh, I mean, I'm gonna go. Give me in the midweek. I would have said if I was to rate this card, I probably would have given it like an 8. To me, honestly, this card was a 10. It's at 9.8, 9.5, whatever you want to do, but because you don't ever really give a 10.
Dude, look at the co-main, Brendan Allen against Fluffy. Fucking if you don't enjoy that kind of grappling and the things that they were doing, you don't enjoy this sport. It was fantastic. Both guys, some slick moves by both so technically good at times that the others can't get what they normally could get. I mean, it was just bitching.
Just a great fight. I know it's kind of a little bit anticlimactic on how it ended, the card. Yeah. But regardless, but the great thing is that there's a lot of drama, lot of drama in the way it ended.
Yeah, but they can always do it again if they want. But you got to look and you go, I know Henry's going to be upset, and I thought, Henry really reminded me in this fight. He reminded me of the Henry Cejudo that fought Marlon Moraes, because he figured out early, damn, he's fast. And I'm having a hard time getting there, and I'm going to have to eat. You know what? Let's eat the shots. I'm biting down, and I'm going after him. And he was trying. Look, I didn't think he was winning the rounds, but he was working his ass off. And he was doing everything he could to slow Yadong down and to get hard shots on him that were going to affect him later on in the fight.
George and I both thought the same thing at the same time. He was doing everything he could to slow Yadong down.
At John's age, a lot of stuff slows his dong down.
Well, nothing slows. Boy, you come on over here, mister.
Oh, it's like, come here, boy, come here. Oh, I love it. Like from fucking that movie Deliverance, the fucking little banjo kid.
You got a bird in mouth.
Ding, 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 ding.
No.
Have you ever seen that movie?
Hell yes, dude. What are you talking about?
No, I was asking George. You never seen that fucking movie?
I'm young.
Burt Reynolds, John Voight,
gosh,
Ned
dude,
Beatty.
what a classic!
Oh, dude, that'll change your idea about going into some rural areas.
Squeal like a pig. Oh shit, that was
dude.
Fucking great. That's one of the classic movies, man. Absolute classic. You got to check it out. Anyways, whether you're an Olympic athlete, professional hockey player, MMA world champion, or just an active kid, Element helps anyone stay hydrated. Each stick pack delivers a meaningful dose of electrolytes free of sugar, artificial colors, or other dodgy ingredients. Get your free sample pack with any Element drink mix purchase through link in bio. Also try the new Element Sparkling, a bold 16-ounce can of sparkling electrolyte water. Roll, train, ride, or play. But stay hydrated and stay salty. I mean, overall, though, John, the fight itself, to be honest, I was expecting it. I know I didn't hear the judges' scorecards. What did they come out? 30-27?
29-28 on a couple, 30-27 on one.
I thought round two, I think Henry won. It was a close round. I thought round two.
And really it was, if you go back and you watch that round, Henry was getting toasted in the beginning of that round.
Legs getting chopped up.
Yeah, and he was getting eaten up through about, let's say, about 3.5 minutes of it. And he started to come on, and he landed some good shots, but it wasn't enough to make up for what had happened first. But it was close, so I don't have a problem with it. I understand.
No, that's the round that I was leaning towards. I'm not saying it couldn't have been one of the other rounds.
That's because he came back and he did better. And so now the last thing you're seeing, but you can't forget what Song had done, in the first part of that round. He was eating him up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I do understand that. But I was going to say, like I said, if there was a round that I was going to give Henry, I felt like it was the second round.
Okay.
But overall, Henry came out, like you said, when he fought the Marlon Moraes fight, and he just had to bite down on his mouthpiece. He had to go out there and throw caution to the wind and try to land some big shots.
Look, he's got a chin. He has got some whiskers on him, because he took some big shots in that thing, and he just, shook it off and came forward. He is, first off, he is not lacking for balls. He's not lacking for fucking heart. And man, he has got a chin made of granite. He is a tough son of a bitch.
Absolutely. And look, he's competed on every stage, the biggest stages across the world, in the Olympics, Olympic gold medalist at a young age. I mean, I know we talk about that, but I mean, like, just wrap your head around that, John.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fucking insane.
No, the best part is Yadong Song was 10 years old outside the building.
I saw that picture. That's great, man. Right there at the bird's nest there in Beijing. That's awesome. I think
selling flags.
Yeah, it just, to me, what did you see? I thought the first thing that I saw was the speed was the difference. Song Yadong he was very
sharper
patient
with the punches that he was throwing.
He was also very selective in the first round. He was trying to make sure that he didn't overcommit on things.
Henry was pressuring in that first round for a lot of it. He was coming forward, and and Song was not going to make mistakes. He was taking his time, and that's a smart fighter.
Yeah, and I think Song also realized that, like, if he got taken down in the first, it would just start to build up. And maybe a second round takedown would be easier. A third round takedown would be easier, and maybe like a little bit more control. Once you start giving them the confidence that they can wrestle and get in and get deep enough and get the takedown, it starts to become a problem. And so I think in that first round, he was like, "Look, this guy's 38 years old. My speed and my power, my ability to stop takedowns. I'm going to be obviously I'm the younger fighter. I feel like I can drag him into deeper waters." And make him fight. That's where the reverse effect, John, I feel like with the smaller weights, once the speed starts to go and you start to have to slow down a little bit because you are getting in the later rounds versus when you're fighting at 185, 205, heavyweight, like they can drag those fights out. A guy who is a veteran can drag the fight out and be okay in the heavier weight classes. You can't do that at 125. You can't do that at 135, 45, 55. And I think even sometimes it's suspect a little bit being able to do it at 170. Depending on who you are and how good of a wrestler you are. In this situation, the speed of Song Yadong was too much. The power, I thought, also too was a lot. But then I started realizing how damn good Henry's chin is still at 38 years old. Yeah. I was waiting for that moment of, okay, he's going to check his chin and Henry's going to get a little. Nah, man, it didn't phase him at all.
And look, he got hit with some big shots.
Yeah, he did.
He got hit with some shots that snapped his head, and I was like, damn. That's impressive.
Well, John, if you look at that fight, it looks like Song Yadong lost the fight. He's all bloodied up, cuts on his face.
His face is he marks. Henry doesn't. Henry's got lumps, but he's not marking that much.
Nah, but got that soft Mexican skin.
Tough Mexican skin, man.
Well, like it's funny. I got hit in the head a lot when I was a kid. Just wrestling, getting banged up, beat up by my cousins. I got 54 cousins just on my mom's side, and I'm like in the middle, the youngest in the middle of cousins. So there's the upper generation that are like 15 years older than me. Then there's like my middle generation, and there's like two more generations below us. There's so many damn cousins. But yeah, man, I took a lot of damage. And my grandmother would say, yeah, Mexicans got soft heads, so they can go ahead and take some punishment. That was my whole thing when I was young. I was like, oh, I'll be good.
That's good to know when you're young, see?
Yeah. You just keep running your head on the wall. It'd be okay.
It's all right. You'll be okay. Yeah.
Look, Henry's a stud. Henry, he shows those glimpses of like, just, you know what, I'll get into a dogfight with you if I need to. I choose not to because I'm not here to take damage. I'm here to fight and I'm here to win. I love seeing that. But I thought Song Yadong, man, there was nothing to hang his head about. I saw him kind of, sitting in the corner after the fight was over, sitting down and going like, man, he was more frustrated. Like he wanted a clear-cut win, over, which I thought he did. I thought he had it. I thought it was like 2-1. If it was 30-27, I wouldn't have been mad at that either.
The scores are completely wrong anyway. So
what do you mean?
Look at under the unified rules, when you have a fight that is into a 5-round fight and it's completed the 3rd round. The reason Jason Herzog was saying we got to start this round, and he starts and stops, he just goes stop, boom, no time really going off on the clock, is once he enters the 4th round, now he can go to what is a technical decision. He can go to the scorecards, and since he had 3 rounds completed, that was the right call for him to do. You don't want if the eye poke had happened in the 2nd round, then it would have probably ended up as a no contest, which is, I guess, better for Henry, but it's not better for the sport. And it's not better for the UFC as a whole. The UFC can always bring this fight back if they want, but having no contest is not good for the promotion. You want people to move forward. You want to have a winner in the fight. And listen to what I'm saying. So you're getting all teary eyed on me because you're crying about Henry. And that's just sad. The score should have been not 29-28 or 30-27. On the 30-27, it should have been a 40 because the 4th round should have been scored 10-10 by all the judges. They didn't get to see anything. So it's a 10-10 round. And that's what tells you that it went into the 4th round. So when they came up, and this is, this is what happens when you have states that don't do a whole lot of MMA shows and stuff. You've got people working at the thing that they don't even think about it. Sal D'Amato, being one of the judges, knew that he had to fill out a card for the 4th round. They just didn't use it. So, but it's okay. It's just a technicality, but it's wrong as far as the score should have been. First, the song should have been a 40-36 on one of the cards and a 39-37 on the other.
Okay, so here's my perspective on it. I'm glad that Song Yadong won the fight because he was winning the fight, and I'm glad that because if he didn't win, I just talked about this the other day about the whole half pay scale. Now he got his win money.
That's right.
He was winning the fight, and look, I appreciate that. But it feels like even when you were explaining it to me, just from my portion of it, of my understanding, is that now you have a ref really kind of deciding how the fight should have went when it could have been a no contest, and it should have been a no contest.
Did you know what the score was? Did you know what the score was?
John, it was pretty obvious.
Excuse me. Did you know what the score was?
Did you know what it was?
Did you know what it was?
I had a good idea.
Yeah. Did you know?
Yeah, Turkey Al-Sheikh is giving everyone the numbers these days in the corner. He whispered, he called me up and said, "Yo, motherfucker, I know the score. Here it is."
That's it. No.
I understand what you're saying. I get that portion, but look, but the thing is, though, John,
go ahead. I understand.
He got poked in the eye in the 3rd.
Yes.
After that, he couldn't see. That's why he ran the whole last minute. That's
what he said. Yeah. I understand.
And then he goes to the corner, and the doctor's in there. If he would have just said, "I can't,"
the doctor wasn't in there
in between the rounds. Yes, he was.
That was the inspector. No.
Okay, so that's the inspector.
You didn't see the doctor.
I was wondering because when he said he couldn't see, the doctor would have been like, "I'm done."
I thought that was just looking at him like,
Yeah, I thought that was the doctor. Okay, that was the inspector. Okay,
the guy with the funky hat. That was the doctor.
Gotcha. Okay, so my thing is though,
so
John,
he can stand out.
But let me ask you this: when the fighter is telling the ref, "I can't see," shouldn't Jason Herzog have went and got the doctor then and brought him in?
No, doctor had already looked at him and said what?
No. He said,
stop. You're not. When you saw the eye poke happen, right?
Okay, yeah.
Did you see the eye poke happen?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you saw Jason stop it, and you saw the doctor come in and do all the stuff, the towel, the wet towel, and all that stuff. And then Henry takes the full 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. What foul happened after that?
No foul.
Okay. So now he goes to his corner. when it comes to the end of the round. And he's sitting there talking to his cornerman saying,
Jason Herzog was right there.
Excuse me, I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm saying he's talking to his cornerman, and I'm sure that Jason Herzog overhears the full conversation of, I know it's blurry. I can't really see out of my left side. I can't see out of my left side. So Jason looks and says, okay, I understand we're going to end up coming to an end of this fight, but we've had 3 rounds of fighting and I can go to the scorecards without anyone ever getting touched again. And that's what he did. And that was the right thing to do.
So who decides that was the right thing to do? The ref?
The person in charge of the fucking fight, the referee.
John, but
excuse me. Have you ever, I want you to answer a question for me. Have you ever heard of the term sole arbiter?
No.
You should, because that's what the referee is in that cage. He is the sole arbiter of the fight, meaning is he is the one in control of it, and he's the one making the decisions on what is going to occur legally under the rules that we have for MMA.
Okay, so John, when he came back and he told the referee, look, and I love Jason Herzog. I want to make sure that's clear. He's probably my favorite referee.
No, I don't think so now.
He probably won't like me anymore after this. But the bottom line is, when Henry came back after, so I can't see. Should have called the doctor in between rounds.
No, he shouldn't.
Okay, if a fighter told you I can't see, John, what do you do?
Did you not hear what I just told you?
What, he's a sole arbiter? Like he gets to decide on whether the doctor should be brought in to take a look at his eye.
Excuse me, why is he going to bring the doctor in?
Because he still fought another minute and a half after that. Maybe he got hit in the eye again.
Hold on. He already did look at the eye, right?
And they fought another minute and a half.
And what does Jason know? What does he know already?
That he can't see.
He knows that he's not going to take another shot, so he's not fighting. So why am I going to bring a doctor in to look at his eye?
So you can call the fight right there on the spot where it should have been called.
Exactly what he did, and he went and told the doctor what he was going to be doing and how he was going to be doing it. Jason did a great job of controlling everything in there that would have been chaos for a lot of officials. He did the right thing. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's the right thing for the sport and for the promotion. The UFC, trust me, Hunter Campbell is probably sitting there, and Dana is what?
They're probably happy about it, right?
Damn fucking straight they are.
So they can just move. So why don't you just start off the conversations with like, hey, John, or hey, Josh, Dana White knows that like this would be the best thing for the sport. So that's why the referee decided to make that call. We could have just bypassed all this conversation, John.
No, you're the one wanting to argue about it.
I know what Dana White wants, so I'm going to do that. That's exactly what just
you know what you want to argue about this, so let's go.
No, I'm just saying
the best part is I'm sitting on the side that I'm sitting on the side of truth.
And Hunter are happy that happened. So then the referee makes the decision based on what the promoter wants. Makes sense.
It's not based upon what the promoter wants. It's based upon what's right. What is right for the sport, what's right for the promotion. In fact, you said one thing. Is it also right for the fighters?
No, that's something that I know. That's tough. That's a tough call. But look, it just felt like, and this is my perspective. Like here's the thing. Henry Cejudo and fighters like myself, Henry, because we've had this conversation, Henry didn't realize what he was doing when he started the 4th round. Fighters don't know the rules.
You're right.
If he would have said, no, I'm done, I'm not fighting, and just stopped right there on the spot, then what? Would have went to a no contest.
If they would have called it before Jason had come up and said, hey, all right, then we're going to enter the 4th round.
But if Henry would have turned to him and said, no, we're not starting the 4th round.
That would have been Jason's fighting. You're not going to have to.
No, he's just saying, I'm not fighting. I can't see, I'm not fighting.
You're right. You're not fighting. You're not
John,
fighting. You're done.
So then the fight would have been done right there.
No.
Before the round started.
Only if Jason changed his mind. Jason's going to start that 4th round. Boom.
So you would have told Henry.
It's a half a second start.
Round.
It's a half second start, but I would have done it exactly the same way Jason did it because it's the right thing for the sport.
I'm glad that Song Yadong got his bonus money or whatever, his 50-50 on the pay. I like that. I do agree with that. It just felt like the way, because that this is the thing, that fighters don't know the rules. And so when the 4th round started, Henry's thinking like, okay, I'm going to start the round. We're going to stop it. And then it's going to go to the scorecards. Henry's not realizing that the fight's over, and it's going to be going my record as a loss versus a no contest.
We don't, but hold on. Look, I agree with you in that in watching the fight, I had Henry losing those rounds.
Yes.
Okay. But how many times have we watched a fight and it's been scored the other way?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but
So
John, it was pretty obvious, I think.
I'm being honest. I think the same thing. But there's been too many times when I go, what?
Yeah.
It happens. And so you can't sit there and say, oh, Jason knew. Jason didn't know.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what the outcome's going to be. He's just going to let it play out. So he has a fighter that is winning the fight, and he has a promotion that's moving on from this instead of it now becoming this little snaggled mess of no contest.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
I mean, John, I took Song Yadong over Henry Cejudo at Bet US. I did that, and I also took Anthony Hernandez. After we had the conversation on Tuesday, I was like, look, I came in thinking like, no, Henry's going to win this fight. And then as we started talking,
you talked about it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I actually changed my mind because we talked last week on Saturday, actually, after the fights last weekend. We talked about the main event and co-main event, and I was like, oh, you know what? Like, this is one of those fights where I thought I was thinking Henry, and I was thinking also Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
And then we talked on the midweek show, and I was like, I started going back through it all, and I'm like, wait a second. No, I think Fluffy's going to put the pace on him and slow him down and do what he's got to do. And I also think that Song Yadong's going to be too young. He's going to be fast, have power. Yeah. And sure enough, it happened that way. Yeah. The only thing that gave me a little bit of a bad taste is that knowing that the fighters don't know the rules, Henry basically walked in. He walked into the fact that he let this thing go to the cards instead of it being a no contest.
You're killing me, dude.
That's what happened, though, John.
Okay, if it comes down to that, whose fault is that?
What's the guy? Like, I mean, can be something. He poked him in the eye.
Whose fault is that?
It's Henry's fault. They didn't know
it's Henry's and his corner's fault if you don't know the rules. I can't say it. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'll sit there and explain every goddamn rule to you if that's what you want.
I love Henry Cejudo.
So do I.
I love watching Song.
I don't want to look at the last thing I want to do is see Henry Cejudo lose.
Yeah,
I don't want to see that because I love the guy, and I mean I love him as a fighter. He's had some incredible fights in the UFC. And I love him as a person. He's fun to be around. He's got a great personality. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So basically, I'm fucking blaming Jason Herzog, motherfucker.
Okay, go ahead.
Fucking Jason Herzog, if you listen to this, bro, I'm blaming you. It just felt like you said, Soul Arbiter was taking over, and he was dictating who was going to win that fight.
That's what a leader does.
You shut
your whore mouth.
He was deciding who was winning the fight, and that just
he was not.
It felt dirty, John.
He was not deciding who won the fight. The judges were deciding who won the fight, and that's the way it happens in fighting all the time.
He didn't stop it when he should have. He should have had the doctor come in and stop. Fighter couldn't continue.
A bad referee would have done exactly what you're saying. I'm being honest, and when I say not, I don't even want to say a bad referee. A referee who is inexperienced would have done exactly what you want them to do.
John, I'm going to ask you this. Wrong. Have you ever thought about doing maybe like when there's a huge event in Las Vegas, doing like a commands course, but just for fighters, not doing it for anyone else, and just whatever, charging like $200, $250, whatever it is. And I'm sure fighters would, maybe if you just did it for free and say, hey, can I use the photo ops and the video, whatever it is. But just so fucking fighters can wrap their heads around the fact that like they're walking themselves into their own demise. Like literally going, yeah, go ahead, ref, start the fucking fourth round so I could lose this fucking fight.
Yeah, no, I would do it in a heartbeat, just because if it would help them, and yeah, I would do it. And
they would all forget after a couple punches. Fucking get it, but it was honestly, I think there'd be a little bit of it that would stick, and I think that it would. I think it'd be good for the sport. It would be good for the sport. Now, let me ask you this. There was another thing. He got kicked in the nuts, and he also got poked in the eye pretty bad. Should there have been
get kicked in the nuts? He didn't get kicked in the nuts.
It kind of slid off the side of the cup.
It was. I admit, look, it hit him in the side.
Yeah.
I do believe it moved the cup.
Yeah.
But the kick itself was not, that was not a kick that you would ever sit there and say, "Oh, that was intentional."
No, it wasn't intentional. Okay. It wasn't. But look, as professionals, you have to have a little bit more control.
He did. It had it off to the side.
It still hit the cup. It still slid and moved the cup. That's still
I think
counts, right?
just moving his body where it's at is going to move that cup.
Yeah, I get it. But still, should there have been a point taken away? There's two fouls literally like within minutes of each other.
Yeah, I agree. There was.
I mean, how many fouls are we going to start letting things go until like when are we going to start?
And I'm going to be honest. Part of the problem is, and you'll get this a lot, Henry was doing what with Jason? Hey, you going to take a point?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he did.
And
as soon as you do that,
no.
Hey, I'll make the decision. You're not going to make it for me. And I'm not saying that, if someone asks, hey, have they ever asked me, are you going to take a point? I said, don't worry about that. I'll take care of what I need to take care of. Let's take care of you right now. And then I'll decide if I'm going to take it or not. But don't say, and he did it multiple times. And I think that was one of the things that worked
bad taste in the mouth. I didn't hear that.
You can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, these refs, man, they're the sole arbiters. They don't want to be told what to do in there. That's what it is.
It is. Now that you have the term sole arbiter down.
Yeah, fucking done, man. Done fucking mansplaining shit to you. Fucking letting you fuckers know. Telling you. All right. Look, overall, though, I thought it was shaping up to be a really good fight. I could tell Henry starting to slow down a little bit. He was trying so hard.
I thought he was smart for taking the full 5.
Oh, absolutely.
And I didn't know if that was because of his eye or not, but either way, it was smart. He needed that time. He needed to get himself slowing down because you see him in the corner after the second round. Mm-hmm. Did you see him in the corner? He was breathing. It's like, not that that's a terrible thing, but it's a sign of what's coming for the next, since you have 3 more rounds to go. It's not a good sign.
Look, when you're watching an older fighter in that situation and you see him fighting a younger fighter who's faster, notice how much he was loading up and half kicks were thrown, half punches were thrown because he was afraid to get hit because of the speed of Song Yadong. And then also too, anytime you throw those half kicks and you pull them back or you like don't throw them all the way, that takes a ton of energy. It takes more energy than actually just throwing the damn kick. And so as you're doing that, it's a lot more, you're more tense. You're having to push and pull with your muscles to pull it back fast enough. And you're throwing it hard and then you realize it's not going to get there and you try to pull it back. You're making yourself more tired. My coach has always told me, if you're going to throw it, just fucking
throw it all the way through.
Yeah. Don't bother trying to pull it back because you leave yourself out of position as well, unless you're doing it to set up a feint or a fake. But that wasn't the case. He was loading up and trying to throw hard because he was concerned about the speed and the counter punching of Song Yadong. And it was definitely warranted. Song Yadong is fucking fast and he's got some power in his hands. Overall, though, I thought the fight was shaping up to be a good fight. Henry was biting down on the mouthpiece. I wanted to see that out of him. I also wanted to see a little bit better transitions in the wrestling, but who's going to tell fucking Henry Cejudo to do better transitions in wrestling? He was having a hard time getting in deep enough to finish the takedown. He didn't want to overcommit and make himself more tired, and faster. And so I understood his game plan. I thought Song Yadong fought a very smart first round. He was very patient, didn't do too much, was touching him just enough. And I thought it was a very, very thought out game plan in that first round. Good coaching by Uriah Faber and Danny Castillo and that whole alpha male team, man.
Smart as far as what they said between the first and second round. I was like, yep, there you go. That's what you want to tell them. Smart.
Absolutely. I thought it was a fantastic round. Fluffy Hernandez and Brendan Allen.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it was very similar to their first fight. Very similar, a lot of ground attack, and that's because that's where Fluffy Hernandez wanted it. And Brendan Allen, a couple of times getting these great reversals, doing some damage. I don't know what it is about, and you never know until you feel the pressure. But it was, he was clear in that he was being able to keep Anthony Hernandez from getting hooks in and stuff like that, but he still wasn't able to get up. And there was, a couple of times you saw Anthony Hernandez with a cradle, and he's holding on to the cradle position and stuff. You're not getting up when someone's got you in a cradle. Yeah. You're not going to try to fight through it either. You just wait. And so it's just a matter of, I just look at this, and these guys, I think if these guys fought 5-10 times, it would be exciting. It might end up the same way. It might end up going towards Brendan Allen. Just depends on, how many times he was able to get through that. But one of the things that you gotta really be impressed by is Anthony Hernandez, like his wrestling on his takedowns when he's in the open mat. Notice how he's turning the corner. Notice how he is not driving someone straight back towards the goddamn cage. Notice how he is taking and turning that right hand or left hand, depending on which direction he's going. And he just keeps turning it to the point where Brendan Allen can't stay on his feet and he ends up down. And now he's got him where he wants to be. It was just beautifully done at times. I thought overall, Anthony Hernandez just put on a great performance against a guy who I thought was going to give him more trouble in this fight because his stand-up has gotten much better. But he wasn't able to prove anything on the feet because Hernandez was just, we're going to be in a ground fight.
He was winning that first round too until he made a mistake, got stuck on bottom. He fell off the top.
That's right.
Put himself on bottom, and then Brendan Allen fought a great end of the first round.
He finished it off well. That took the round.
Damage. That like when you only have a minute or 2 minutes to do work, he made the best of it. He mounted, did some big elbows, like he was trying to land the big shots, and Fluffy was struggling to get off the bottom. Brendan was able to kind of threaten a couple little positions there. One choke looked like it was in.
One choke was actually there. He had to turn, and you could tell.
You could tell the facial expression.
Yes, you could. Yeah. It was like, okay, that was
like,
yeah. And he's trying to turn his way through
that on the thumbnail there, buddy. But look, I was kind of nerding out. It was a great fight. It wasn't what people wanted. Like all the casuals at home going, man, it's just fucking stupid. They're wrestling and grappling.
I love that fight.
It was fucking awesome to watch.
It was awesome.
It was great to watch. I loved all the transitions. I liked the back and forth. I know not for Fluffy probably hates this, but I like that he fell off on the first round because the next couple times he got on top, he didn't make that same mistake. And he had to weather that storm at the end of the first.
Well, think about it. He didn't make the same mistake, but in the second round, he made that mistake of he got off towards the side, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And all of a sudden, Brendan, and I go, Jesus Christ, what are you thinking? But after that, he never made the same mistakes again. But yeah, it was. Well,
the reason why he falls off on that side is he's baiting that little arm in guillotine from the side. Yeah, so and what happens sometimes
goes too far.
Yeah, as you get too far to the side and you get slippery, you fall off a lot easier, and that's how he ended up on bottom. It's a sneaky little transition that he likes to hit. But something about him in the
he transitions fast to a lot of things.
Though. He does. He, really almost hit that Darce from that anaconda. Top, or that anaconda there. So he almost hit that. And then Brendan Allen was able to wiggle back, put his back flat to the mat. I was just very impressed with both of them in their transitions. They did a great job, man.
And the way they were thinking, there was thoughts and everything that they were doing all the way up until like the last round when you're looking at Brendan Allen and saying, dude, you got to move. You got to, give it, do something. I know it's tough right now and I know you could get caught, but you got to go. And it just wasn't there.
Yeah. There comes a moment where you just got to tell yourself, hey, I'm going to lose this fight no matter what. I've only got a minute and a half left. I've got to just go for it. And some fighters do it. Some fighters don't. And it's more frustrating when you're wrestling yourself, right? Like when you're having to wrestle and find a way to get back up because you're like, get off me, you bitch. Like you're like, let's fucking fight. That's what's going through your mind. In reality, if that was you on top, you're like, yeah, get up, bitch. You have a different mentality when the positions are changed. And but man, I thought it was a great fight. I love the exchanges. They got right to the wrestling right off the bat, and it was good, man. Let's go ahead and move on to Rob Font and Gene Matsumoto.
I thought it was a phenomenal fight. Still, I thought Rob Font did. He came out. He looked aggressive stuff. He kept on talking about that first thing, and it was like he did touch gloves, and then he threw a left right, and it's like, hey, you're told at the beginning of the damn. Fight. What? Protect yourself at all times.
You're told in the back. You guys come and tell us in the back.
Thank you very much. And I'll sit there and say, hey, you want to touch gloves, that's on you. If he throws a punch, don't look at me. The fight has started.
See, John, I fucking listened to you when you were in the back there talking.
I'm impressed. I am impressed.
Yes.
So it was a very. I thought there was moments where Matsumoto just looked great.
Mm-hmm.
He was throwing great combinations. He threw a lot of stuff. I loved how he, trapped the foot and held him, and kicked the leg down. It was just beautifully done. It was a split decision, and I look at it and I go, it's obvious, the fans are going to look and go, well, Rob Font won the third round. No doubt about that. Okay. So since he won that third round and he won it pretty convincingly and he was beating Matsumoto up, they're real happy with it. That was a close first and second round as far as who you're going to give it to. This is, and you're going to hear some people say, oh, it should have gone to Matsumoto. Maybe it should have.
Yeah, Twitter blew
was-
up about it being Matsumoto.
It was a close fight. You know, it's not a robbery. It was a close fight. I thought the big difference was Rob was a more aggressive fighter, and that's what, you know, got him some credit. But he did, in the beginning of the fight, he landed the heavier blows. He was landing the heavier blows, and that has a lot of impact on the judges.
Yeah, I was actually, as I was watching the fight, I realized, man, I don't want to be a fucking judge for this fight. That would suck. Like, I would agree with you 100% though on the fact that it seemed like Rob, when he was having his exchanges, that he was the one being able to get Matsumoto to back up. Yeah. Which means he's causing the more damage. He's also putting more pace on it. He's dictating the pace and the control of the octagon. All of those things are very important, I feel like, when you're judging. So, but look, I went on the parlay on that. So I went Song Yadong, I went Anthony Hernandez, and I went Rob Font. I picked all three. And, man, we cashed out, dude. We cashed out at BetUS at YouTube 150 is the promo code. 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. If you have any problems, get your money out, man. They got the best customer service in the business. There's a number also to attach to the link down below. When you hit that, there's a number there. If you guys have any problems getting your money out, they've been partners with us for over a year now. They're fantastic, man. We've been with other partners. People couldn't get their money out. We dropped them because of that situation. We didn't want to work with them anymore. This company's been absolutely amazing. BetUS, YouTube 150 gives you 150% bonus on your first deposit. 125% bonus on your next 2. Let's go ahead and move on, man. Gene Silva versus, how do you say this guy's name?
Baghdasaryan.
Okay.
Baghdasaryan.
There you go. That's how you actually say it. It sounded familiar because Baghdasaryan is exactly how you say it. Yeah. John, look, I was expecting as the fight started, I was like, oh, geez, someone's going to come out, just like start going hard. But no, very composed, very nicely done. Understood what he had in front of him. Baghdasaryan was fast, was very slick with some of his techniques. I know he was only throwing 1 shot, maybe 2. But then, man, it was shaping up to be one of those fights where, man, if they got the ball rolling, it could have been fight. It could have been fight of the night.
There was a couple of
fight over quickly.
Yeah, there was a couple of exchanges there. Baghdasaryan's fast. His kicks, he doesn't telegraph his kicks. They come up fast. You know, I've watched him for a long time. He was big in the Glendale, California area and stuff as a kickboxer, and then he ended up deciding to do MMA. Look, he's got good stand-up. He doesn't have a good ground game. And I thought that, you know, John Silva has everything. He's got good stand-up. He's got a good ground game. And so I thought that would be the big difference in this. I think he was the biggest favorite of the night when it comes to the betting odds and stuff. But John Silva right now, you take a look at what he's doing and the way he's doing it, Josh, that's what's impressive. He is putting on fights. You know, the Drew Dober fight, and we talked about that, you know, and the massive cut that he had on Drew Dober. And
didn't he come in pretty far overweight on that fight? I thought he missed weight by like 4 pounds.
No, he fought that at 155. He went up in weight because he's a 145er. He went up in weight to fight Drew Dober.
I thought he still missed weight.
Really?
I could be wrong. Can you look that up, George? I thought that he went up in weight. I agree with you, but okay. I thought he missed weight by like 2 pounds, 3 pounds.
Really?
Yeah. I believe so. And was it at 55 or? It was at 55. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But I was saying I thought he missed weight. Anyways, I could be wrong, but I believe he missed weight for that fight.
I would be surprised if he missed weight going up.
It's pretty. I mean,
it's happened. Poor Max, man. His name is brought up every time.
So, I mean, but yeah, Max was asked to do the impossible, right? Like, can you make the weight? Yeah, you're 10 pounds lighter. No, it's not 15 actually. No, wait, 10. Sorry, 10. Yeah, no, it's not that easy. It's not as easy as you guys think. You walk around fucking like trucks, man. These guys. Explosive. The power obviously went to Silva. You could see from the head kicks and the body kicks and all that stuff right off the bat.
That right hand that he landed was just explosive.
I mean, but let me ask you this: which one was better, his or the one that knocked out fucking
Basharat?
But that one was better?
Yep. Basharat, you talk about clean. He was out going down.
John, his one eye was this way, one eye was this way.
I've seen them all.
Trust me.
Yeah,
When
he was.
When they say, hey, when that girl says, hey, I want to fuck your brains out, that's what it looks like. Fuck it.
Yeah, Ricky landed that shot so clean. That shot reminded me very similar to Kamaru Usman against Jorge Masvidal. Same type of just head snapping, out going down, just incredible.
Yeah, No, the one that he went down, they did remind me of that. Yeah, but fuck. All right, look, let's go ahead and let's go back up to this. You got Alonzo Menifield versus Julius Walker.
What a fight.
Oh, great fight.
What a fight. Dude, they freaking Julius Walker was tenacious. I thought he was going to burn out with how much he was wrestling. He got tired at the end, but he was working his ass off to get Menifield down. He took some big shots at times. He's got to tuck his chin a little bit more, figuring, if you're 6'4" and the guy you're fighting is 6 foot,
it's hard.
He's coming. Yeah, it is. You got
to realize how difficult it is because you got to punch down, which means when you punch down, your shoulder automatically drops and leaves your chin in the air. And then if you decide, like if you're that type of fighter who's hasn't been really in the game super long.
No, what, he had 6 fights?
Your chin stays up in the air because you're just used to like, okay, I'm tall enough, I can back away. And
he had a chin.
Tall guys.
He had a chin because he got hit some big shots.
Yeah, he did.
He got buzzed. But Menifield was absolutely gassing himself trying to hit him with the biggest, heaviest shots he could. But you got to give Menifield credit. He stuck in there, and that was a tough fight for both guys. Both guys just put it out on the line. That's one of those ones I don't want to see anybody lose. When you put out that much effort and it's that close, it's like, damn, I don't want to see anyone lose. But I thought Menifield was the rightful winner of the fight.
Yeah, that was another one where I said, man, I don't want to be a judge for this one.
Yeah.
But I did lean towards Menifield as well. I felt like he had the harder, cleaner shots that landed and made Walker move backwards. Yeah. But man, those knees to the body though, John, that Walker was landing, I was like, oof. It was. I thought he looked good. I thought he did a great job.
He did. I can't wait to see him when he has a little bit more time to get ready for the show, and especially when he gets a little more experience, he's going to be a good fighter.
Do you know he reminds me of a Bellator guy? I can't remember his name.
He reminds you of
from Greg Jackson's.
Yes. Damn, I'm lost.
I can't remember his name.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian.
Not
Walker. It was. Gosh damn, it's pissing me off. Oh man,
he used to train with John Jones.
Yes, yeah. He reminds me of him
very much.
Yep.
Yeah, tall.
Yep, tall, long, but like good fighter, pretty good a technician. Then ended up taking his loss because he got tired that one fight. But overall good fighter. Okay, Cuțelaba versus Aslan. Aslan.
Well, Ibo was exposed for his. He's a very powerful guy, got good stand-up as far as the power, but the ground is definitely not his friend because once that fight hit the ground, he did everything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it. Ion Cuțelaba looked like Hickson Gracie going after that arm triangle and stuff because he jumped off, bam, boom, bam. And it was just Cuțelaba likes being on the ground. He likes ground and pound is his normal way, and he's very good with it. But I enjoy Cuțelaba. I enjoy the intensity out of him. I enjoy the stare. I enjoy when he every time tries to walk across the cage, and so I enjoy watching him as a fighter and stuff. And I thought this was a telling fight as far as Cuțelaba is a guy that gets into brawls. Sometimes comes out on the wrong end of those brawls based upon doing that. If he can get the fight to the ground, he usually does very well. But this exposed Aslan as a guy that, look, you got good power in your hands. You got good stand up. You have got to learn how to at least protect yourself on the ground. At least we're going to get back up. He looked lost when it hit the ground.
Yeah, it showed right off the bat. And then Cuțelaba, like you said, looked like Hickson Gracie. He was just out there fucking doing his thing. Yeah. This is the first time I've actually heard Cuțelaba's like post-fight interview. It was fucking fantastic.
Fucking awesome.
I thought it was amazing. I thought this is why it's so important. I know that Khabib had several conversations with Islam, with Usman, with Umar. You have to learn to speak English.
Yep.
Even if it's broken, because
Doesn't matter.
One thing that makes it better is when it's broken. Because Americans, and I know that Japanese fans and everyone else, they all feel the same way. Yeah. Is they love the fact that you're trying. That you're trying to learn to speak whatever language it is that you're in whatever country you're in. If you can say something to them in their native country or whatever, and they love it. And they eat it up. They fucking slurp it up. Yep. And it was just awesome to hear him speak English, broken English. But let's think about all the sound bites that you get, right? Like fucking Conor McGregor barely speaks fucking English. It's fucking, who the fuck is that guy? Right? But it only works because because it's another language. Habib, give me your chicken or feed me your chicken, whatever.
I smash your boy.
Yeah, smash your boy. Yeah, like those are things that we would have never have got those sound bites.
Come on, what's the first thing you said tonight? First thing.
Fucking big drama show.
Big drama show.
Big drama.
Triple
show.
G, baby.
Triple G, baby. But those are sound bites that last forever, man. They're so great, and I love it. I love it. And I think that this with Moicano, he never really spoke out on the mic.
Oh, not in the beginning. Now,
how many fans does he have now? Look, he got a title shot because of the way he speaks and how well he's been doing as a fighter. Yeah. But simply put, like they know that he was going to go ahead and pump the fight up, knowing it was only like a day or two ahead or whatever it was, the night before, the day before, that day up. And he did a good job. He did, he was on the internet fucking doing his thing. That's what they want. And Cuțelaba, I thought he lit it up on the microphone afterwards.
He did.
Costa versus Fili.
This is one of those fights you look and you go, Andre Fili's he's in that position, dude. And I hate to say it because I really enjoy Andre Fili. He's a good he's a good fighter. He's not that young anymore, 34, 35 years of age. And it's starting to, getting caught in the guillotine the way that he did is, did you just fall asleep for half a second?
He put his thumb up, John. He put his thumb up when he was in there. Point. And then literally 5 seconds later, he's tapping as fast as he could.
It's like, what were you thinking? What are you doing? And it was almost like he got on top. I'm good. And all of a sudden he's tapping and I went, what the hell? And it was I saw exactly what you saw too. And it was like, that should never, you should never have been caught in that position to, allow him to even lock it in and then get the leg over on you and stuff. Because basically you were just in his guard, and we thought, I teach all the time. I said, look, no one's going to stick their head in there and give you the guillotine. Well, well,
do you know John Fitch used to do that?
Yeah.
And eventually it catches up to you.
Oh yeah.
And he got caught by
Josh Berkman
in his first fight, I think, in the World Series of Fighting.
Yeah.
Thinking like, I'm gonna let him just blow his arms out. That was John's whole MO. He'd be like, yeah. The first round, I know John always knew he was gonna lose the first round. So he went out there, tried to get a takedown, give him the guillotine, and he would just hang out there. Or the triangle. He'd do whatever one you thought. Just let him squeeze. He goes, then after they're done squeezing, they were never the same fighter. And I believe it. In this situation, I think what happens when you come from a gym that is known for their guillotines and their arming guillotines and their chokes, all alpha male guys, they feel comfortable in there. Well, everyone's squeeze is different.
Yeah.
The Nate Diaz squeeze in the guillotine is completely different than the Gray Maynard squeeze. They're just different. But they both have the same effect. You tap. So in this situation, I think he was expecting something a little bit different, but it looked like Costa just had a little bit of that wiry strength, like a Swick guillotine. What was it called? The Swickatine. Remember Mike Swick?
Yeah.
When he had the Swickatine or whatever it was called. It's just Swick had one of those ones that like it hurt when he hit your neck because his little bony ass wrist. That fucker caught me at least probably 4 or 5 times in that fucking thing. I think I broke my neck. I think I got some bone spurs in my neck from that thing, trying to get out of that thing. Yeah. John, I got to be honest. Mansour Abdul-Malik versus Nick Klein. Holy shit, this Abdul-Malik is a stud.
Yeah, he is.
Just a stud.
He's the one that I was telling you that I was watching when I was in Vegas and stuff at Extreme Couture, and they were telling me, hey, Watch him. He's really fucking good. And I
He looked
watched
like
him
he was a
in
man
practice.
amongst a boy out there.
Dude, he's big. For a 185 pounder, I'm telling you, Josh, you would look at him and go, holy shit. He easily looks like a 205er. He is a big person. He's got good wrestling and he's got power in his hands. He's an athlete. I think, he got hit with that spinning back fist. It definitely caught his attention, had him on his heels. And I thought Nick Klein, did a great job of going after him and working hard. He just didn't have enough. His wrestling didn't match up, and he was burning energy to the point where I think he got tired in the fight. And that was as much of everything. He did get hit with a huge shot when he was on the ground, man. A big shot.
I felt like he could have finished Abdul-Malik had he kept trying to strike, not smothered the striking, and just try to land the best shots. Then he went to the wrestling. I just knew it wasn't going to go Klein's way when he had lifted the single leg all the way up, and Klein actually reached up and lifted his leg higher.
Oh, dude!
And Abdul-Malik lift Klein's leg up higher up onto almost onto his shoulder. Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, bro, he's hurt and he's doing this to you. Like, this is not going to go your way. You're going to have a rough night." Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. Ricky Simón versus Javid Basharat.
As we said, what a punch, man! What a shot Ricky Simón hit him with. This is one of you. If you're going to look and say, "Is that the way you saw the fight come?" No. I would say if I thought there was a knockout like that, it would have been Basharat over Ricky Simón. But Ricky's, his stand-up has gotten much better. Colin Oyama's done a great job with him. He still does all of his grappling stuff up there in Oregon and stuff. And he's a stud dude, man. The guy is a gamer and stuff, but that was a huge knockout by him. And it's a nice comeback for Ricky because, he's had a couple of tough fights there, and that one is one of those ones you're going to feel a whole lot better after a series of losses like to, Yadong Song and a couple others and stuff. It's like good for him.
Helps you get your confidence back. Makes you feel like you can do it still.
Yeah.
And man, that was nasty.
He was on what, a three fight losing streak?
Yeah, hands down, probably one of the nastiest knockouts I've seen.
Oh man.
I mean, eyes going all different ways, out. And then when they brought the camera right over Basharat and basically just said like you could see, you read his lips, what happened.
Always.
And then a second later.
That is always
happened? Wait,
that is always happened? And that'll happen for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right, our boy Austin Vanderford fought how do you say his name? Veretennikov. There you go. Yeah,
I thought Austin did great. He went to what his strength was. And when we said, look, when he can wrestle and he can be in the top position, man, he's a bear, and he's tough for people because he's great at holding that position. Folk style wrestling, that's really what it is. He's great at being able to control the body, and he does good ground and pound work. He posts the hand, slides it off to land the elbow, and when he gets the opportunity, he will give some space and try to punch away and land big shots. I thought Veretennikov really looked like a dipshit at the end of the fight when he went over and pushed him. If you're upset with that stoppage, that's okay. Be upset with the stoppage. But that's the referee. That wasn't fucking Austin Vanderford. Austin Vanderford did exactly what he was supposed to do throughout the fight. He controlled you, beat the piss out of you for the most part, and beat on you to the point where that referee thought, oh my God, I got to save this guy. And don't take it out on him. Go to the referee if you don't like it.
Yeah, you should have pushed fucking Kevin McDonald.
Fucking A.
Fucking poor Kevin.
Oh,
shit. Yeah. Did you think it was a good stoppage?
No.
Okay.
Not at that time. And I'll say why. Veretennikov he's looking. Okay, he's not hiding. And there's a difference between, you're looking for all of these different little things that are going to give you an indication of I need to stop it or I don't. And when a fighter starts to hide and they got their eyes looking down at the canvas and they're just getting, pummeled, okay, because they're trying to hide. He was looking at and trying to stop things. That's an intelligent defense.
Yeah.
And you got to give him more. You just got to give him more. That he deserves more. I can understand why he was upset, but you got upset at the wrong person. Austin Vanderford went out there and did exactly what he was supposed to do. So, and congratulations to Austin on your first win in the UFC. You look great.
To be honest, I think He's found his weight class, 170. I know this was at 175, but he should have always been at 170.
Absolutely.
Think about this. He got all the way to the title shot in Bellator to fight Gegard Mousasi, and he ended up losing pretty quickly. But like he said in his interview, I'm not at 185, 100.
No.
Bottom line.
He's a big, strong 170er, but his frame is not that big. His body is. He carries a lot of muscle. But if you take a look at that chest, it's not. There's a ton of lungs in there because he doesn't get tired. He can go. So
no, he can go. He can definitely go. Ruziboev versus McConico.
Yeah, beautiful fucking.
Sorry, I'm
beautiful right hook, man. I want to say, Ruziboev is the guy that I think most people saw for the first time when he fought Joaquin Buckley.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big fight, his fight against Joaquin Buckley. But, this guy's had a lot of fights and a lot of wins. He's a good fighter. He's with, I think, 3-1 now in the UFC. And you look and you go, and he's got 35 wins. A lot of his losses are early in his career and stuff. But the guy can fight. He's going to be around for a while. He's tough.
Bukauskas versus Cerqueira. I don't even know how to say his name. Cerqueira.
Again, another nice finish. We've seen Modestus multiple times now. He's got some good stand up. He's got some good hands. Mm-hmm. He lands the good shots, puts them away. It's the way you're supposed to do it. That's what you do when you go out there and you're the opening fight of the night, man. Dude, as quick as you can, get rid of it, and he did within like 3 minutes. So,
John, 3 decisions in this card out of all of them. The rest were TKOs and KOs and 1 submission, 2 submissions. Sorry, but overall,
yeah. But you got to admit the first one that was a decision was Menifield and Walker. What a great fight! The second one was that was a decision was Font and Matsumoto. Great fight.
Yep.
So, and I thought Yadong Song and Henry Cejudo was very competitive and a fun fight to watch. It just ended before it was supposed to.
Absolutely. Look, what did you give this card?
Honestly, I would have given it a 9.
Yeah, I was in that 9.5, maybe a little bit higher than that. Only reason why I wouldn't have given it a 10 is because how the main event ended.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's really it.
But I mean, man, the whole card was fun. The whole card was fun from the first fight all the way even to the end. Big drama show. I mean, it came through. It was just a great card, man. Really enjoyed it. I'm glad Seattle's got some of the best fans. When we did a Bellator there, fuck, it was awesome. Yeah. It was awesome. We were in a small venue up there when we did it, but the crowd was electric. It was nice. I have kind of my old stomping grounds up in that way, so it was nice to have fans that were there and talk and say hi.
Someone that actually knew you. Is that what it is?
People were like, "Hey, man, I went to high school with you." I was like, "Oh, wow."
Really? Whoa.
Yeah. So there were some people who were like, "Yeah, I went to high school with you." I was like, "Oh, man." Or I went to college with you too at North Idaho College. I was like, "Okay, cool. Cool people, great people." It was actually really nice to hear chants of USA in the crowd. It was really nice.
Boy, there was a lot of that with the nations hockey thing.
4 Nations hockey.
4 Nations. I know you watched it. I watched it.
Absolutely.
What a game the final one was, man. Those guys, so good, so fast, just incredible. I looked at that and it was like, obviously I was rooting for the U.S., but man, Connor McDavid, that dude is so goddamn good.
Crosby's still doing it.
Yeah.
Crosby's still doing it. 38, I think, 38 or 39 years old. Still doing it. But look, I know there was all this stuff because of the first game, where they basically got into the fist fight, 3 fights in 9 seconds.
That was awesome.
It was awesome. And the fact that hockey, there's still a sport out there that does that, I absolutely love it. It's just part of the culture of the sport.
That is.
And I admire that. I admire the fact that the athletes are willing to continue to do that based on the fact that they know it motivates their team. It gets their team going. And I've been to a couple San Jose Sharks games where they were down like 4 or 5 to 1 or whatever it was. And literally like 1 or 2 fights later, the game's tied. That's how much this shit motivates them and gets them going, gets the crowd back in the game.
Momentum.
Just about the shift of the momentum and making things happen. It's nice to see. And I love the fact this was like an alternative break off from the NBA's All-Star game or the NFL type All-Star game.
Hold on. Let's be honest about this. I actually like what the NFL did with the flag football thing and
I like it too, to be honest.
The competition thing. That's great stuff. But if the NBA, which has absolutely gone down from when, the heights of it with Magic and Bird and Jordan and then Shaq and Kobe and stuff, man, they need to learn a lesson from the NHL on this one. Because if you would take and say, you know what, USA versus the world team or whatever it is, I don't care. Put a world team together. That's how you bring interest and stuff. And people got the Canadian fans got so behind it. The American fans were so behind it. It was awesome to watch. Yeah. That's an Olympic-like atmosphere, without the Olympics. It's awesome.
It was fantastic, John. It was fantastic. It's funny. I guess I don't say I want to be careful what I say. I'm just simply saying, like, I used to admire and look up to watching guys like Kobe play, Jordan, like as a kid. I would sit and just watch. I was like in awe. I had that when LeBron first came into the league. I don't have that anymore, not just for him, but for a lot of the athletes that play in the NBA. And that would explain why their ratings have dropped 47%.
Absolutely.
It sucks because you've taken a sport. I mean, Splash City didn't help as well with the whole 3-point shot. The game's changed. I understand that. So
change the rules.
Well, the problem is it has something to do with the rules. The rules didn't take it there.
No, but
it's the analytics of the people that came in with the analytics of, hey, it's better. We're better off shooting threes and jacking them up because it shows that if we shoot 50 of them, then we have a better chance of winning. The analytics got involved in basketball and fucked it up. But then you have star players though too, are not helping the cause by getting paid $35 million or $40 million a year and then not showing up for these things or not giving 100% or just dog walking themselves up and down the court, while the other guys have the ball, not really running back on defense to try to block.
No, not playing defense.
Not playing defense. Yeah. I mean, I literally watched like a 6-minute long clip of LeBron just walking around, not playing defense. And I was like, what do we, like, I get what we're paying for. We're paying for name value. I get it. But what PK Subban said, the hockey player, former hockey player, he said on live broadcast was fantastic. Like he literally called out the NBA players and other athletes that are getting paid millions. Like, I don't give a shit about your longevity in the sport. I care about the fact that mom and pops are trying to pay to take their kids to watch you play. And then you decide to sit out. That's what I care about. I want the best of you for 10 years. And if that's all I get, that's all I get. But I want the fucking best. And I watched an interview right after with Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's like, I never cared about stats. He's like, because if I gave my best, the stats would come. Whereas a lot of these new athletes, all they care about is stats. Yeah. And I get they want to play a long time. But look, Tom Brady took care of his body, did all of those things. And I know he was a quarterback, so they got a little bit more special treatment. Don't touch me now, that kind of stuff. And he played until he was 40. But a lot of it has to do with just taking care of your body. Sitting out, though, is what you get paid for. I mean, playing the game is what you get paid for. Sitting out, so I understand what I'm saying. I was like, sitting out, you get paid to play the game. You don't get paid to sit out. And fans that are coming to watch you play, it's really upsetting. Kids, all of those things. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I feel bad for the kids that have paid or their parents have paid. Some of them, may never go to a game again and you decided to sit out. As an owner or as the league, you've got to do something about that. This time management shit, this load management shit is trash. It really is trash.
Yeah, I agree.
You should never want to be that person that sat out. If you have a real legit injury, like what, are you injured or are you hurt? Which one is it?
There's a difference.
Conversation.
There's a difference.
Anyways, enough about the rant. And I know, we talked politics a little bit last time. This is not political. This really just comes down to, I want to see. I grew up with the Jordan era, and the Malone era, and the Stockton era, and Olajuwon. I want to see that. I want to see
Clyde, the Glide Drexler.
Exactly. I want to see that intensity from these players, and we don't get that anymore. They're all fucking friends. Fucking, I want to see friends, man. I want to see Isaiah Thomas and Jordan fucking throwing punches. That's what I want to see. And we're not getting that now. They're all fucking friends. They all want to go fucking hashtag no Diddy. That's what they all want to go do. Hang out. Fucking guys. Anyways. All right. Hey, before we move on, I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support this show. And if you want to support us, support our sponsors, check us out over at OnlyFans. We did our live chat last week. And also, there's Element right there. Use that link down below in the descriptions. And they will give you a free bonus package with every purchase. And YouTube 150 is the promo code for BetUS and 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. After that, YouTube 150 at BetUS. John, let's go. George, give us some news, buddy.
Okay, so we had 1 million fights announced.
Okay.
The fight
A
that
million.
is 1 million fights.
Just a million.
1 million. Got it.
The one happening, the first one I want to talk about, happening most recent to now, is Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady.
Great fight.
Do you remember when we had Sean Brady on after his last fight? And he said, ideally, because my baby's going to be born in February or March, I believe is what he said.
Yep.
And his baby is born. And he's like, ideally, I'd like to fight in, I think he said Manchester or whatever it was, against Leon Edwards. I'd like to fight him in the UK. Well, guess
Amazing.
what? He got his wish.
You see how you make those things come to fruition.
He got a baby,
You
a healthy baby,
that. That's
healthy
it.
baby girl. He's got his wife is, she's feeling good and she's able to be home right now. And he can go ahead and travel out there and get some ass whooping in and get that money. So he manifested, like you said. He said, this is what I want. He said, I'm sure he told the UFC, I'd like that if I can make it happen. And I'm looking forward to seeing that fight. That's a great fight.
That is a great fight.
Great fight.
Sean Brady is in that position where when he's on, he is so good as far as his stand-up is tight. His ground game is fantastic. His wrestling is good. Leon Edwards has learned to become a great anti-wrestler, a guy that can keep the fight on the feet, or sometimes he'll even try to do the takedowns and stuff. I think that it matches up. Obviously, Leon's got the range on him. He's got he's going to have a longer reach. Speed-wise, might be a little bit faster than Brady, but not much because Brady's explosive.
Yeah.
I just love the matchup. This is one of those ones. If you're Sean Brady, you need this fight to prove to everyone, oh yeah, I deserve to be up in the top. And if you're, Leon Edwards, you want to stay there, you got a tough battle. You're gonna have to get rid of a fucking monster because Sean Brady is that Philadelphia monster.
He is. He's going to have to try to push this pace, try to get Leon out of his comfort zone. I think he's going to have a hard time getting Leon down. If he does get him down, he's going to have a hard time holding him down. Yep. And then what people forget is that Leon can wrestle as well. Up until Kamaru Usman fought Chimaev, the fight before that was Leon, or a couple fights before that was Leon Edwards, was the first person to take him down in his UFC career. Yeah. Now, I know everyone said Colby got the takedown and hit the butt and didn't control it.
It's not a takedown.
Okay, well, I'm just telling you what people were complaining about. Okay,
sorry.
I'm on the Leon Edwards, took him down in the first round. I believe in their second fight, not the first fight. Yeah. Got the double body lock, got the underhooks, took him down. And that was the first takedown that Kamaru Usman had ever been basically tallied on, saying he got a takedown against. I look at Sean Brady. He's going to have a hard time getting it down. So he's going to have to be prepared to put a pace on him on the feet, stay inside the pocket. Don't fight him outside the range so the kicks can be involved.
Excuse me.
And he's going to have to make sure he's in that grill and fight him in a phone booth. Yeah. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to seeing how this fight all pans out. But, man, it's going to be, I think, a really good fight.
I agree.
Really good fight. Yeah. Next fight.
All right. So that one is going to be March 22nd. But on April 21st at UFC 314, we have Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes for the newly vacant featherweight championship of the world.
Before we go to that, how do you feel about the UFC's basic new premise that you can't be a double champion at the same time, simultaneously? If you want to go for the second title, you have to give up the other.
I'm 100% okay with it.
I'm 100% behind it. I agree with them, and I understand why they're doing it. People have to realize when you have one fighter that's a double champion holding two belts, now you just limited your abilities to have championship fights.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of things that work against the promotion for it. So I know it's cool to have that double champ, I guess, but it doesn't. It's not fan friendly. It's not good as far as them being able to put on fights.
I guess for me, the only way I'd really give it a pass is like if you have someone like a Demetrius Johnson who's wiped out the whole division, has no one there to fight, go ahead and go up. And if you win, then we can go ahead and vacate the other one. And you can go ahead and fight there from now on. But if you lose, you go right back down. And you're just going to continue being the champ. You've already wiped out the whole division. So that's what that makes sense to me. But outside of that, no. Like with Ilia Topuria, nope, see you later. Okay? Like, no, Islam, nope, see you later. Like, I love Islam. He's wiped out the whole division. Or if he fights Arman again, you know, outside of that. But like, no, just see ya. Like, you've already done what you can do in that division. You know, I don't know, just move on up. I like the idea, like guys like Alex Bejeda, like the weight cut, I think would have killed him too much for him to go up and down, up and down. It just made sense. Stay up there. You know, it made sense. Outside of that, no. I mean, John Jones did it right, I think, by taking the time to put the weight on. I think there was other reasons why he stayed out for a while, you know, trying to get contract stuff done and doing everything else, and fight matchups, whatever it is. He was trying to get the money right, whatever. But I think if you're going to go up to heavyweight, you got to make sure you put the weight on properly to deal with those monsters. So I think John did it right in those scenarios. But the DJ thing is the one that gets me the most. Like, you've already wiped it out. I mean, shit, he went through it twice. He fought Joe Benavidez, 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you fought the same guy 3 or 4 times, it's like kind of all right. You know, I get it. I mean, they were recycling it back through. Go ahead and go to 35. It doesn't work out. You come back down, be the champ again. By then, hopefully we have some new contenders in the next year for you. But yeah, I feel good about what they're saying. I think it's good. It sucks though for the fighters who are like, man, I wanted to be double champ, because now I think there's only 4, right?
Yeah.
There was Amanda Nunes,
Nunez, Connor, DC.
That's 3. There's one more.
Henry Cejudo.
Cejudo.
He fought tonight.
Yep.
Thank you very much there, George.
All right, let's go ahead. Next fight.
All right.
No. We didn't talk about this one. Ilia Topuria,
Volkanovski versus
Ilia Topuria dropping his title, so Volkanovski and Diego Lopes going after it. I think it's a fun fight. I think it's one that's going to be we're going to see exactly where Volkanovski is at in his career. You know, because I'm going to be honest when I say it. I'm not saying that Diego Lopes can't beat him. The prime Volkanovski, Diego Lopes wasn't going to beat. I don't see him beating the prime Volkanovski.
Why is that?
This one? Because Volkanovski was so good at being a guy that handled good quality strikers. And then when he got people that brawled, and for the most part, Diego in the stand-up brawls. He's got a good ground game, but he throws big looping shots. And, man, Volkanovski used to eat guys up with counters off of them throwing big looping shots. He's really good with it. So looking at it, I would have said Volkanovski of the past, not a doubt in my mind who's going to win. Not saying that on this one, because we're going to see. We're going to see exactly what Alexander Volkanovski shows up.
Couple things. Volk coming off 2 knockout losses in a row. That's one. 2 is, I think the longer the fight goes, I think it favors Volkanovski.
I agree.
3, the guys that Volkanovski's had problems with are the guys that have really good submissions. Brian Ortega, the guillotine, the triangle, all those things. Diego Lopes has really good jiu-jitsu. The wrestling's not as on par, to get him down as easy. And we've seen that Volk's got really good takedown defense. Like we saw that against Islam. Diego's been known to slow down as the fight goes on. He got exhausted in the Brian Ortega fight. I'm going to chalk that up to being biggest fight of his life. Fighting a really tough guy.
Here comes the bigger
sphere.
Here comes the bigger fight.
Yeah, this is the bigger fight, but that fight was in the sphere.
True.
In Mexican Independence Day, like all this stuff leading up to that fight. Yeah. I'm gonna chalk that up to like the pressure kind of got to him. This is gonna be different, but this is for the title. I understand that. It's how he rehydrates himself. He is huge for 145. Huge. How does he rehydrate himself? Is he able to go a hard 5? Because is the weight cut too much for him? That we're going to find out. Because Volk, I think he's going to have to survive that first 2 rounds, like how Brian Ortega did. Brian Ortega got dropped. Remember, with like a 2-piece and a biscuit in the first round when they fought. I think that if Volk can survive, how's his chin? How's his mentality? Like, how's his confidence going into this fight, coming off of 2 knockout losses, losing your title, all of these things? How is your confidence going in and fighting Diego Lopes? We're going to find out, but I think that if Volk can get it into the 3rd, into the late second round, third round, I could see him starting to possibly start to take over.
Yeah.
But I think in the first 2 rounds can be all Diego Lopes.
All right, next fight.
Michael Chandler, Paddy Pimblett.
I love that fight. It's one that we talked about. It was a fight I made, so they made it. That's awesome.
Did you see the Dustin Poirier tweet?
Yes.
Oh, he's a bitch, but I'm going with Chandler all the way. So I just snorted. That was fucking hilarious. He's still a bitch, but putting my money all down on Chandler. I mean, I don't know how I see that. I honestly don't know. I'm leaning more towards Paddy Pimblett, to be honest, and no bias in this decision, but you are too. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Let's be honest. Paddy on his feet is pretty good. He's got more clean stand up than Chandler. Chandler is very linear. He comes straight in, straight back. He has no lateral movement. He doesn't circle out. He does a lot of things that you look and you go, man, you're putting yourself in a position to be hit. Can Paddy hit him? Yeah, he can. Look, at Paddy's not. Everyone puts him in this position of he's not a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to sit there and say that Paddy Pimblett is not a good fighter, you're just lying. He is a good goddamn fighter, and he's moved himself up in the appropriate way as far as the UFC has given him fights that were right for him at the right time, and then he's done the right things. He had the close one with Jared Gordon. Okay, maybe he learned something from it and stuff. But, you know, when it gets down to, you know, on the ground, yeah, I would give Chandler definitely has the better credentials as far as wrestling. But Paddy's got decent takedowns, and he's got a good ground game. He's got a good submission package. So, you know, he can cause problems. And if one thing we've seen is Chandler slows down in fights, and this, I believe, is a 5-round fight.
Oh, is it really?
I think that's what I heard.
Okay. I didn't know it was a 5-round fight.
I heard it was going to be a 5-round fight.
Okay. Well, that being said, though, I know that because Paddy's a lot younger, he's going to be able to push the pace. He's physically a long, tall, lanky guy.
He's way bigger than Chandler.
He's way bigger than Chandler in terms of length and height.
Length, yeah.
Tall, long, lanky, just like I like to say. Tall, long, lanky. It's just going to come down to Michael Chandler not really having the confidence he has. He's become more of a brawler now. And that being said, like he actually used to switch stances, throw straight punches. Oh, yeah. His fucking knockout of Patricky Pitbull, straight right down the pipe. Beautiful done. Oh, beautifully done.
Trust me. It was
done. But now it's everything.
His knockout against Benson Henderson.
Yeah. But everything now has become caveman style. He's kind of got out of like, hey, I'm throwing technique. I'm just throwing as hard as I can now to get you out of there. Yep. The wrestling's taking a back seat. There's really no wrestling in there. He had some of the nastiest ground and pound. He used to chase the guillotines all the time because he's physically strong. That barrel chested, he'd like put people's heads into the like his sternum and hit guillotines from there. He's gone away from all of that. Yeah. And so he's become actually just a straight entertainer. And sure,
he is that.
He is that. The fights are entertaining, but like when you're fighting just that way, you get away from all the things that got you there. And Paddy Pimblett, I think, is going to probably have the potential to exploit all of those things. He's on his way up as someone's on their way down. Paddy's young. He's old. Like it's not looking good for him. Yair Rodriguez versus Patricio Pitbull.
I love that fight. I really do.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oof.
Look, if you're going to come in, you're going to be a guy like Patricio who's going to call people out and say, "Hey, you know, I'm here now." You got to give him a fucking stud, and Yair is a stud. Now, here's the difference. I worry about if I'm in Patricio's corner, I worry about the speed of Yair. Mm-hmm. Okay, I worry about the flash of some of the techniques because he's fast with them and he pulls them off very well. But if there's one thing I know, there's only one of them that's a pit bull.
Yeah.
And, you know, Patricio is very good at controlling distance, even though he's a very, you know, short, stocky fighter. He is outstanding at controlling distance and not taking big shots, you know, but he's getting older. And so, you know, is he going to be slowing down and stuff? It's a possibility. But, you know, if you're going to be that guy that's going to step out there and say, "Hey man, this is where I belong. And I need to move fast and I want to take on all these people." Hey, then start taking on, you know, one of the best, and Yair Rodriguez is still way up in the rankings. So that's a great
John,
fight for him.
every time we've ever talked to Patricio, have you ever heard him turn down a fight?
Nope.
There you go. They called. They offered Yair the fight. There was no response from Yair. So Patricio hits him up in the DMs and goes, "Hey man, are you going to take the fights? I'd be an honor to accept you to into the UFC as your first fight," and then turn the fight down. Aljamain Sterling got on Twitter and said, "Hey, there was like something that he had said, like to fight.
I'd like to fight him. I'll be a back on him or something like that."
Yeah, and then basically turn the fight down. And the person that said I'll take the fight was Dan Ige. And I don't know if they doesn't look like they offered it to him, but Dan's on the same card, which I'm happy for, because if Yair does pull out, you know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to slide Dan right into that spot.
And that's the right thing to do too.
Absolutely. I want to see that fight, to be honest, more so than the one with Yair. But I understand.
I'll tell you what, that would be
that's
that's what they call a snobber blocker.
Yeah, I think the UFC, they planned that out carefully.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, like, who can we get like to put on the card to make sure that we have a backup for that fight? And Dan Ige already said, he's like made it public on Twitter. I'd love to welcome him. I respect him. No disrespect whatsoever. And Dan is that kind of guy, would love to fight that Patricio Pitbull. There's a lot there. I did love one comment from Patricio Pitbull. We've never had a father and they actually have, sorry, but a father and son fight on the same card. He's like, how often do you get to see daddy and son on the same card? Patricio talking about Michael Chandler. Patricio's like, I'm your daddy, baby. Woo, I love it. I just thought it was fucking hilarious. Come on, John, you gotta get into this.
No. It's just, dude, he's always been a guy. He will speak his mind. That's what I love.
Absolutely.
I want to fight you.
Yes,
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it, man. I'll
tell you what, the fight on that card that I'm really looking forward to, though, if you look at the opening bout for the main card, is Jeff Neal against Carlos Prates. That's going to be a hell of a fight. Carlos Prates has really come into his own. Man.
Yeah,
he is something to watch.
Yeah, I was hoping to see him and Ian Gary.
Yeah, would have been awesome.
That was the fight that I was hoping to see.
That's all right.
Well, it is what it is. Jeff Neal, man, he seems to be getting the fucking short end of the stick these days.
Yeah.
Let me get all the new up and comers that are fucking great movers and stickers and longer, taller, all of these things. Fuck, poor kid. What else you got for the Jandiroba fight in Yang Jianan? That should be a fun fight. You're going to see if she can stop the takedowns, which I think she'll be able to against Verna. And can Verna do anything on the feet? I don't think so. I think Yang's going to be able to piece her up on the feet. But I also, I've got a lot of respect for Jandiroba, man. She's tough. She's tough. And the fact that she's only fighting with one eye, I think makes a huge difference. Like it's a fucking Michael Bisping all over again.
No, it's just while she's looking at the opponent with this one, she's looking at the crowd.
She's looking at the peripheral. Yeah,
it's all good because when she gets hit, she sees them perfectly.
That's it. Might go straight. Fuck, dude, but she can fight. She can fight her ass off. Shit, she don't have to worry about fucking any of that Chris Tucker shit. She don't need to know if someone's kicking her from behind. Which one of y'all motherfuckers hit me? She can see him. She's just like, yo, but fuck, she can get down. All right, what else you got for us there?
So the next UFC, May 10th, UFC 315, they announced Bilal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena.
Knew that one was coming.
Did you?
They've wanted, yeah, because they've wanted to put JDM in a fucking championship fight for a while, and he's in that position where he's had some great wins. He's had some close fights too. But I look at, if you're looking at a guy who's going to give Bilal Muhammad problems, in your opinion, when it comes to, a fight. Well, Maddalena's got power, so he's got good stand-up. His stand-up is clean, it's powerful, and he's defensively, his wrestling defense has come a long ways. He's tough to take down. Mm-hmm. So you look and you go, the fight makes sense. I understand it. I still give Bilal Muhammad. I don't think he gets enough respect. I give him the edge in this fight. I think he's the better fighter overall.
No, I agree with you. I think he is the better fighter. I think I'm not saying this fight's going to be easy for Bilal. It's not going to be easy, but I do think that Bilal will win this fight. I think he'll win it convincingly. I think he may even potentially get a finish. As well as I know, when you have a fighter who can wrestle the way Bilal can, it makes fighters who are mainly boxing, it makes them a little more hesitant to throw their punches. So that makes it a little bit easier for them to get caught. You take a look at how Khabib caught Conor. You take a look at other top wrestlers, how they're able to catch these guys, on the feet, world-class strikers, because they're always concerned about being taken down. So the hands drop, the hesitation, all those things happen. That split second's all you need to land a clean shot. Bilal on the feet. Look, Bilal doesn't get enough credit for his stand-up. Don't forget, he pieced up Vicente Luque. And people are like, oh, yeah, but, guys like Leon Edwards are better strikers. Yeah, he beat Leon Edwards.
Yeah, badly.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a one-sided fight.
Except for one round.
All of that being said, like, he's come a long way on the feet. He's not just a wrestler anymore. He's not just a grinder anymore. He does it all. Yeah. And he deserves the credit. He deserves more credit, 100%. But I look at that fight and I think to myself, man, that's going to be a good fight.
You got to look at Maddalena is undefeated in the UFC. I think that has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
So, and that's good.
Shavkat's hurt though too. If Shavkat's out, you bring JDM in, and then after JDM gets better, then you have Shavkat step in.
Yeah. And look, and JDM he's young. Mm-hmm. That is the one difference. Bilal is what, 36 now? I want to say.
Yeah, he might be a little bit older than that, 36, 37. Yeah.
And I think Maddalena's like 27, 28.
Yeah. And as a promotion, you want to try to get them to the champion as fast as you can.
I don't want the old guys.
I want to market that. What else you got? Next one.
So on the same card, you got Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. I don't know if that's how you say it.
Yeah, it is close. Manon Fiorot. Mm-hmm. Manon's come in and she's done a great job in the UFC. She's really fucking put on fights. I don't think she has the overall game to beat Valentina. Mm-hmm. I think Valentina's smart enough that she'll stay in the stand-up long enough to, get her shots in. But when she's in a position for a takedown, she's going to work for the takedown. And on the ground, Fiorot is at a disadvantage. And so it's not a hard fight to look at and say, well, this is the way it's going to be fought. Fiorot's going to want to stay on her feet. That's her way of winning. And that's not an easy way to win with Valentina, because Valentina's still good on her feet. Mm-hmm. And the ground is definitely goes in Shevchenko's corner.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Manon Fiorot for this fight.
Really?
Yeah, I think really what we're witnessing right now is you're seeing that Shevchenko is, sure, she's into the sport, but there's no way she should have lost to Alexa Grasso. And then she had a draw with her. And then, sure, she had a dominant third fight. I just feel like, John, we've seen it forever with fighters. They've been the champion for so long. It seems like every fight they have to get motivated. They have to find ways to motivate themselves.
Well, you do.
And I agree. I just simply think that it's like, okay, look, I did all the things I needed to get my title back. I think almost like that sense of relief. But where's her confidence at, really? After losing to Alexa Grasso, it's not like she had, a 7-fight win streak and, now she's having to kind of restart. I just think that Manon Fiorot is that person is going to be able to, her confidence is high. She's beat, some top girls. She's going to be right there. I think she's that motivated tiger coming after. It's like, I'm ready. I'm right there. I've waited this long to get to here. I waited for you to settle your shit with fucking Alexa Grasso for fucking 3 years. I'm tired of that. She's like, I'm ready to go.
Well, I mean, look, she's in the same position as Maddalena. She hasn't been beat in the UFC. Yeah. And there's been a couple that have been fairly close, but she's got the win over Rose Namajunas, which that's a big win. Mm-hmm. Win over Erin Blanchfield, that's a big win. So she's taken on, some good quality competition. Jennifer Maia earlier on and stuff. I know that one. So, look, I understand the matchup and I understand why you can pick her. I just look at the ground is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
On the ground, Valentina's way better.
But Manon's got decent takedown defense.
She does.
I think that's going to play a factor. It depends. And Valentina is also no spring chicken. So later in the fight, is she going to be able to get takedowns? If she can't get them early, is she going to be able to get them later on? It's not that she's not bad on the feet either. I'm just simply saying, I think Manon is the one coming forward. I think she's going to be the one physically, I think, be able to do more.
Do you know who Manon's first fight was against? And it was her, I think, only loss. I may be wrong. She might have it.
I don't.
Leah McCourt.
Oh, shut the front door.
Swear to God.
Submission?
No, I think it was a decision. I don't remember if it was unanimous.
Leah McCourt.
Nice.
All right, what else you got for us there, George?
All right, the last fight I have to announce. It's is not on this card. It's going to be a fight night of some sort, but Davison Figueiredo versus Corey Sandhagen.
I love that fight. I don't love that fight if I'm in Figueiredo's corner, though.
Mm-hmm.
I look at that one. For the most part, Figueiredo's got good power. And if there's one guy that's really good at handling guys with good power, Corey Sandhagen's that guy when it comes to the stand-up. On the ground, they're both good now. You know, Figueiredo's good on the ground, but Sandhagen has turned. He's really good on the ground now. I look at the length of Sandhagen as giving Figueiredo a problem. He was always the bigger guy, you know, especially in the flyweights and stuff. And now that he's up at the 135 bantamweights, he's not the bigger guy all the time, and you can see it causes him problems. Well, he's definitely not going to be the longer, lankier guy in this one, and it's going to make it difficult for him. He's going to have to take chances to get in on Corey. It's a tough fight for him, but I think it's a great fight to watch.
I would agree with you. I think that the tall, long, lanky body type of Corey Sandhagen is be a lot for him to deal with.
Yeah.
The slickness of the feet, all those things. I have one more. Burns versus Morales.
Yeah, that's a
Bad fight.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
See, I look at that one. That one's like, you know, Gilbert fought fought Maddalena, right?
Yep.
And he lost to Maddalena and stuff. Gilbert's in that position now where he takes all these tough fights, but it's always against younger guys. And Morales is really young. You know, Maddalena, like I said, is young, but Morales is what, 21, 22?
Something like that. He's a baby.
Maybe he's a little bit older, but he's young. He's physically strong. I could always see Gilbert catching him. If it hits the ground and he makes a mistake, Gilbert will catch him. On the feet, Gilbert's normally pretty fast. He's not as fast as Morales. Morales he's the younger, faster, stronger fighter. And you're looking at it, the one thing that Gilbert's got the experience, and he definitely's got the ground. But this is a tough matchup, and I hate seeing Dorino have fights like this, even though this is what he's made for.
No, I get it. I understand that. There was one other fight on here I wanted to chat about real quick. There's a lot of talk that Islam is basically saying, like, no, I want Ilya to fight somebody else because I'm tired of being called the weight bully. I'm getting tired of all this. And that it's going to probably end up being Dustin Poirier versus Ilya Topuria. What's your thoughts on that?
You know, I thought you came up with, you know, I've had multiple people come up with, like, if Ilya Topuria comes, it should be against Arman Sarukian.
I agree.
I love that fight. I think that is a great fight. But, you know what? Dustin has basically been calling for legend fights. You know, okay. Now, I understand when you sit there and you say, well, is Topuria a legend yet? He's a former champion. So you got to give him that. He's undefeated. So you got to give him that. So I can understand why Dustin Poirier would say, yeah, that's a fight I'll take. I think it's it's something that's going to motivate him. And that's what Dustin's looking for. I need to have that thing that you know what? It gives me a little bit of a buzz. It's, you know, scares me a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. You know, that's what he needs. And so this is a great fight for him.
Can I throw something out there? I know Dustin keeps talking about this is my retirement fight. Let me throw something out there.
It might be.
Islam fights. Look, we've heard, like, Dana, have you seen all the clips of Dana and Habib sitting next to each other? Hey, man, if you and Conor fought again, the numbers it would do this, it would do that. Like, he's always selling, you know.
It's his job.
Yeah, it's his job. But I also feel like with Dustin can do whatever he wants. He's already openly said that, Dana White has said. Like, Dustin can do whatever he wants. We'll find a way to make him happy. Whatever it is he wants, we'll take care of. I feel like there's something there right now. Islam fights either Charles, I think probably Charles, and Ilya fights Dustin. I would not be surprised if they dangled a little carrot in front of Dustin and said, hey, you beat Ilya Topuria and you fight Islam, you know, whenever you want. Or not Islam. Islam vacates the title and goes away, and then you fight for a vacant title. And if you win, you win. It would probably be against someone like Arman. So I'm hearing that it's going to be Arman and Charles again. That's one. So I'm hearing Dustin and Ilya will be this fight. Islam's kind of going through Ramadan here, and I think in another week, I think Ramadan starts.
Yeah,
and then
end of February.
So he probably won't fight till International Fight Week. So if you get this fight booked, probably here pretty soon, and you have them fight. The winner of that fight could fight Islam, or you have Charles and Armand, the winner of that fights, or you have Islam just go up. And then you have you have 2 number 1 contenders from the Charles and Armand fight, and then the Dustin and the Ilya fight, and you fight for a vacant title. I wouldn't be surprised if you dangle that in front of Dustin. I think he would stay for at least for that. And look, he even said if he would have beat Islam in that last fight, he would have retired right there on the spot. It's it's hard to say that when you know they're going to be like, oh, there's all this money.
I don't know about that one.
But he's done everything he could possibly think of.
No doubt about it.
He's done it all. So I want to give him a little love there, man. He's been a great person for the sport.
Just an incredible competitor, and always shows up, always performs.
Absolutely. All right, give us what else you got for us, George?
Well, that's we're about wrapping up.
Okay. There was one thing I wanted to chat with you. PFL announced their bantamweight tournament. It's going to be Magomedov, Leandro Higo, Savarajan Hamadov, and then Ali Taleb, Jake Hadley, Qasim Qasimov, Kieran Clark, and Zabenzu Ruiz. So I know 4 of them. I know Hadley, I know Clark, I know Higo, I know Magomedov. This is gonna be one. I don't know Ruiz, Kusamov.
That's at 135.
Yeah, 135. No patchy mix. Well, from what I understand, champions are not going to be fighting. Like the Dakota Dacheva, she's not fighting. She's not in the tournament.
Hold on, she's not a champion.
Well, she's the champion of their last tournament. So
Former champion.
But no, they're saying that she's
because she's the champion of that season. That's what they always said.
No, I know. I don't think they're doing seasons anymore. You're the champion, and then I think they've got rid of.
It's one of the things that I've said is wrong forever. You have to have a champion.
Yeah.
People expect to have a champion. What's that?
Why champions sell? That's why the fucking UFC should get rid of this whole double champ shit. I need more champions.
That's it.
The more people I can market, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah. I didn't see any other weight classes announced on that one. I did know there was the female one got announced a week or 2 ago.
So yeah, there's women's flyweight that got announced. There's no Dakota. I can't enunciate.
Cheva.
Yeah.
Cheva.
Or what?
She's not in it. The welterweight that got announced has some fun names like Logan Storley, Jason Jackson, Umalatov. Some fun names.
That's going to be a very competitive.
Yeah, you look at that though, and they don't even have the whole lineup for it. They got Umalatov versus Storley. Where's the rest of the damn brackets? Who's fighting who?
John, they're gonna have to get it together, man. One last thing. Did you think so? They're gonna have to get it together. I can't say anything else. It's just frustrating, man. Like I've got fighters from the PFL that are hitting me up, going, "Hey, man," I've hit a couple of them up too, going, "Hey, you guys have fights booked yet? You have any idea?" They're like, "Nothing. It's crickets on my end. Still don't know what's going on." Aaron Pico's, trying to hit every media station saying, "Hey, man, I'd like my release." Nothing happened. So, I don't know. He's prepared to sit out a whole year. I don't recommend that. I don't suggest that. I think you got to take the cash when you can. And, hey, pay up. I have always said this. I think the UFC will structure, you and I both said this last week. They're going to structure the deal to the point where that PFL cannot match it. If they want to be hassled with it, that's the thing. There's going to be a lot of talent coming from the PFL that used to be Bellator. It's going to be coming over. And I think they're really trying to make room for it and understanding where they're going to put these guys. It's going to be a matter of time before they have a lot of these guys signed.
When you look at it, though, just from a spectator's viewpoint on this, you look and you go, the whole thing when the PFL took over Bellator and they're so happy and things, and it's one of those things that it hasn't worked out for them the way. It almost was a bad thing. Not that they didn't get good fighters, but they weren't able to control things the way they thought they were going to, or make it work the way that they had decided that they planned it out or whatever. But it's just
You're going to tell me they planned that shit out? Because they didn't fucking plan shit.
I don't know, dude. Yeah.
I mean, John, they were all over the place. We're going to have this. We're going to have this.
They planned that first, PFL versus Bellator champion fight thing or whatever it was. And it was like, that was the start. And they're like, how do you see this? You're going to lose every fight but one.
Yeah.
And I was right. And it was like, I don't mean to be a shithead, but I'm just being honest.
It wasn't just that, John. I was part of that crew that went over to the Riyadh for that show. Yeah. I didn't get my fucking plane ticket. I didn't even know I was doing the show until 2 weeks before. They were so unorganized. And then when we got there, they had no idea what they were doing in terms of production wise. It just was the mics didn't work, the fucking audios didn't work, the transmitting it back to the States wasn't working. There was a big screw up on our end, on the PFL side or the production side. Yeah, and maybe it was because of the language barrier. Maybe it was because of, just the transmission back, whatever it was. But I find it hard to believe you're dealing with the ESPN. You've got to make it work. You've got to make it work if you're going onto the ESPN platform and their app.
That was a pay-per-view.
Oh, it was. You are right. Correct. What was it, a pay-per-view off of ESPN?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that being said, you should have been able to make it work. And everything was so unorganized from that moment on and just seemed like, damn. And the shit part was the fights were fun when we were there. It was a great experience to be in Riyadh. I actually really enjoyed it there. Food was fucking fantastic. People were extremely nice. I felt really safe out there. Like, it was awesome. I had a great time. You can just see what was going on in the development of how the promotion was being ran. Remember, we're going to have Europe, we're going to have Africa, we're going to have the US. Yeah, they got all these ideas.
Because some of them you're looking at, that's a good idea as far as expansion and stuff, but you got to be making money to expand.
Yeah. Well, there's not only that, but John, think about this. Every promotion that's ever been bought or any company let's talk a tech company. Let's talk a business, whatever. You buy another company, what do? You swallow it up. You don't fucking keep that company running and start dishing more money into that company. I bought it for a reason, so I could swallow it up. Every major company, whether it was Apple, whether it was fucking Amazon, they bought all the other companies. They didn't keep those other companies' names. They fucking absorbed them.
There is a problem sometimes when it comes to buying a promotion. Strikeforce was the same thing when the UFC bought it. They have contracts.
Yeah.
And you have to play those contracts.
Yeah, they had to play out the Showtime contract. I think Bellator had contracts still with the BBC or whatever it was, or Sky, whatever TV network over there in Europe. They had to run those through. But that made no difference. They should have. I don't know if they could have just been like, hey, we'll give you PFL. They're like, no, we did the deal with Bellator. But they should have found a way to say like, hey, we're going to keep giving you the formatted fights the way that you guys are having them, but we're going to just call it PFL. I think they probably would have jumped on board. I don't know. Maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have. But regardless, it ended up being a total shit show. What you got now is a lot of fighters just feeling left in the dark. No call. And on top of that, and I've said this before, you have too many executives at the top that don't know how to talk to fighters or managers. They know how to make money. They know how to raise money. They know how to spend money. That's it. And that's what the
problem is. The sport needs them. Sport needs.
You're promotion. Not going to hear me complain about. We do.
And I look at it. I want all of these promotions to work and to be able to be successful because it's what's good for the fighters and stuff. And it's like, man, how many times can you do something and go, that was a good idea when it was a horrible idea?
Yeah, I want GFL to succeed. I want PFL to succeed. I want ONE to succeed. I want all these promotions to succeed. The problem is that there's such a huge gap between them and the UFC.
But see, why are you competing with the UFC?
No. I'm telling you, though, it's hard for the newer promotions to get off the ground now because no TV deals want to work with them. And if you can't get on the TV, then you're never going to build anything. Unless you're going to be just what like the LFA and other promotions are. What they are is they're on Fight Pass. Yeah. So they're basically just feeder organizations into the UFC, which is fine. You can be a feeder organization in the UFC, but if you're trying to develop fighters, they're not going to want to come to you unless you have some sort of TV deal, whether it's UFC Fight Pass, whether it's an app pass, whether it's a Facebook or a Twitter.
Fighters want to be seen.
Yeah, you might as well just be a local promotion. Okay. And that's hard to get top level fighters on there. Now you got to build your talent, do all those things. It's very difficult to start a promotion. Extremely difficult. And every new promotion needs to get it out of their mind that they're going to try to compete with the UFC. No one's competing with the UFC. Just let's not talk about that. Let's just move on to this getting more promotions out there so fighters have more avenues to make money. That's the biggest thing. All right, hey guys, that's going to wrap up our show. I think we ran about 2 hours for you guys today.
Damn.
That's what happens when the fight card is fucking spectacular. It was great. We had to talk about every fight for the first time in forever, from first fight all the way through to the main event. Great stuff. Great card. 9.975 or I'll go 9.857 or 875.
Damn, look at you.
I will, man. It was a great card. I enjoyed it. And all the new fight announcements, all the other stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support us. And of course, join us over on OnlyFans. Subscribe to us over there. It is free. And BetUS, YouTube 150 is a promo code. Let's go ahead and just take it away there, John.
We're taking it away. For everyone out there, thank you for tuning in. We will see you.